Just want to start off with a roster update. Johnny Ford will no longer be with us moving forward. Not really going to get into the details of what led to my decision, but we wish him the very best, and I'm not really going to have any further comments on that situation at this time. Today was a typical Wednesday practice, obviously doing it on Tuesday with our game being played on Friday. I've been pleased with our guys' energy and effort this week, and there's no doubt our guys understand we got a huge challenge in front of us this week. You gotta love rivalry week. I think rivalries is what makes college football so special, and I've been very fortunate to be a part of some great rivalries through the years. As a little kid growing up on the sidelines at Florida State, my dad coached there for 10 years with Florida State and Florida. And then, I was a part of the South Carolina-Clemson rivalry for 25 years. 5 years when my dad coached for the Gamecocks, and then 20 years as a player and a coach there at Clemson. So always enjoyed a great rivalry game. UCF is obviously very, very talented, has a very deep roster. I think they're either number 1 or number 2 overall in the country in total offense. I know they're number 1 in the country in passing offense. Their quarterback is an excellent player, leading the country with over 3,000 yards passing. Receiver Marlon Williams, currently number 2 in the country with over 1,000 yards receiving. And defensively, what you see is a lot of athleticism, great size, and really a lot of depth. I mean, they're playing 10 or 11 D linemen that all look like they could really be starters. Very disruptive on the defensive line. I think that's a big emphasis for our offense this week, is we got to get the ball out and not allow those defensive linemen to get penetration. And they also lead the country with 20 turnovers on defense. So very impressive what they've been able to do this year. And no doubt a great challenge, but like I talk to our guys about all the time, with great challenges come great opportunities. And that's really what this is for us. And our message, my message to our players this week is, really it's not about the opponent, right? We talked about that from the very beginning. It's really about us, and it's about our execution. I think looking back at my past experiences, a part of some rivalries, and when you've been on the other side of maybe some winning streaks and those type of things in your rivalry game, I think one mistake you can make as a coach is to put too much emphasis in that rivalry game or talk about your opponent all week. And my thoughts go back to 2014 at Clemson. We had a couple 10-win seasons, but we had lost to South Carolina 5 years in a row. And really during those 5 years, we just put so much, we had the countdown clock and all this stuff year round, and you put so much emphasis on the opponent, and the guys get so emotional going out there, and we had 15 turnovers in 3 games, which is part of the losing. So finally we decided, you know what? It's not about any of that, it's about us and our execution. And we just got focused on ourselves and getting ready to go play our best game, and that's how we kind of turned it there in 2014. So that's really my message for our guys. Obviously, we understand the rivalry and excited about that, but our focus really has to be on ourselves. Like I've told our players, there's been not enough, but there's been moments in the season where we played well at times on defense, we played well at times on offense, moving the ball, and we've done some good things on special teams, but we've yet to do that all in one game. And so with this more than likely being our last game of the year, our last 4 quarters with this team, that's really what my message is hey, let's finish strong. How are we going to finish the season? Obviously, it's been a lot of adversity and very challenging season for a lot of different reasons, but how are we going to finish? And let's find a way to play our best 4 quarters here in our last game on Friday. So that's our plan, and off to a good start so far this week. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Jeff, how's your quarterback situation looking for Friday?
Cade has been able to practice a little bit this week. Still not 100% that he's going to be cleared to play yet. We'll have to see how he does these next 2 days, but he's getting really close. Still a little bit undecided on Noah Johnson, and Jordan McLeod and Trey Marsh have been able to practice. So that's kind of where we are right now.
You said you like the energy that you've seen. So is this team, especially having a game canceled last week, this team really hungry to take the field on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you've had, the way our last game went was very disappointing. And, you're anxious as coaches and players to go out and play another game and to play well. And I think our guys, it's important to our guys, even though, again, we haven't had the success that we won in the previous games. It's important for our guys to finish well and to play well this week. And so I think that's, and obviously when you're in a rivalry game, right, guys understand the importance of those and excitement that comes with those. So I think it brought a little extra spirit to our guys this week.
Friday is also going to be senior day. You're going to have some players honored. I know you haven't had a ton of time to spend with them, but what is the senior class and especially the players honored?
Yeah, well, number one, this is probably not the senior year, not even dealing with our record, but really just dealing with 2020 and all the complications, right, that come with it. This is not what anybody expected or signed up for at the beginning of the year, but what I appreciate, about those guys is that they showed up every day, continued to lead during some difficult times, and I'm very confident of what our next couple of years are going to look like here in our program. And I hate it for those guys that they're not going to be able to be here and be able to see that come to fruition. But there were a lot of things that we were able to accomplish this year inside our locker room, inside of our team, kind of establishing the foundation and the culture that we're going to have moving forward. And those seniors were a big part of doing that for us. So I definitely have a lot of gratitude for them, and I want them to go out and play their best game here with their last one.
With your cornerback depth, what it is, having two scholarships guys and now that KJ's out, how concerned are you going up against the top passing offense in the country?
Very. Just like you would expect. There's a chance we're going to get Ben Knox back. I think he practiced today for the first time in 3 or 4 weeks. So at least we'll have another warm body to run out there. But, obviously the tough thing about that is it's not like these guys, they've been in quarantine in their apartment in bed for 3 weeks. It's not like they've been, somewhere training for 3 weeks and just getting back ready to go. So that's a challenge. But yeah, I mean, again, that's just, problem 1004 of the season, right? And so there's nothing you can do. We got some other guys that have been repping there, some of our walk-ons that have moved over from scout team that will be there if needed.
It's kind of hard to simulate their pace on offense, especially in practice with so limited numbers. Do you even try to do it? What do you
Yeah, I mean, obviously we do try. We pick and choose our spots. We have some tempo periods on defense where we finished up that way with our defense did, just doing 8 plays as fast as we can versus our defense. So yeah, I think you got to obviously can't practice the whole. We don't have enough scout team players or defensive players to really practice the whole practice that way. So you kind of pick and choose your spots. We played other teams that have been tempo this year, obviously. So there's been some carryover from that. A big part of it is getting the call and getting lined up and being able to be where you're supposed to be whenever the ball snaps.
You scored a touchdown against UCF.
Many moons ago. I think some of our players were not born whenever that happened.
What's your recollection of that?
Yeah, the real recollection that I have is the next morning in the paper reading Coach Tommy Bowden, my head coach's comments, that I looked like I had one too many pancakes that morning. He didn't think I'd ever get in the end zone. That was my biggest recollection of that. But no, we, during my time at Clemson, I was the holder. We faked 6 field goals in the 3 years that I held. 4 were successful. Of the 4 successful ones, I had 3 first downs and 1 touchdown. So my recollection in that game, I believe it was early in the 3rd quarter, we were up by 7, and it was like a 38-yard field goal maybe, and we ran an option. We really thought it was going to be drawn up where the corner was going to take the kicker, who's the first out, and or we really thought the corner was going to take me and I was going to pitch it to the kicker, but he ended up taking the kicker, and so I ran. And my other recollection of that is if the ball would have been on the 23-yard line or any further back, then I would not have scored. The fact that it was on the 22, I literally got the nose over the pylon, and as I was running, I knew that may be my best shot in my career to score touchdowns. That was many years ago.
They're being a little elusive on the other side of I-4 about this question, but it sounds like there could be a return for Mackenzie Bilton this week. You know, first of all, are you familiar with this story, and second of all, are you prepared for that possibility?
Yeah, you know, I actually was watching the game 2 years ago whenever he got injured, and just, you know, even if you don't know the player, but just being a coach, you know, and caring about people. I mean, I got sick in my stomach watching that 2 years ago, and you just felt so bad for him. And I saw the special. I've seen a couple specials. I saw the one on game day this past week, which was very well put together. And so, first of all, just you know, very impressed, respect the way that he's fought back in 2 years to be able to get back where a lot of people would have probably, with an injury like that, just said, "Hey, my career's over," and move on. I think it tells you a lot about who he is as a person, and you know, the way that he responds to adversity. And you know, I obviously don't know his status. I know he's been practicing on the scout team, just from what I could see or hear on the special last week. And you know, so aside from our game this week, you know, I wish him nothing. You know, obviously a safe return whenever he does get back. If he does get an opportunity to play, then, you know, we'll play him just like we're going to play Gabriel, and do our absolute best. But, you know, even though they're your rival, you got to tip your hat when you see something special like that. I mean, that's bigger than any rivalry or anything like that. That's something really, really special.
And you mentioned Dylan Gabriel. He's done a fine job, you know, since Milton went out. You know, what does he do so well that makes their offense just so dangerous?
Yeah. You know, probably the biggest disappointment was when I found out he was a sophomore. Hoping he was a senior, and they put that graphic up and said sophomore, and I went, wow, maybe the NFL can change the rules and let the sophomore leave early. Well, he's got a great combination. Number one, he's got an extremely strong arm, very accurate. He puts the ball exactly where it needs to be. He's got great awareness. He sees the entire field. And then the other thing that you don't typically have maybe from a guy that throws the ball that well is he's a great runner. He's really fast, has great quickness, knows how to extend plays with his legs. And so it's not a situation where you can just drop everybody back and try to cover it. You literally have to account for him as a runner as well. So I mean, I believe he's one of the top, you know, 3 to 4 quarterbacks in college football right now. Honestly, just watching his video and my evaluation. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. All right. Have a good week.